Must be some good eating in that tree. Hi everybody, it's Steven here for Bland Designs, and this is vlog number 24 for Monday, June the 16th. And I hope everybody's had a good week and had a good weekend. And so let's get right into it for this week. What have I been up to? Yes, again, more acrylic pouring. And if you've been following my YouTube channel, you know that I've started a series of videos on acrylic pouring and my various experiments with various additives. This week I was sort of featuring using just dish soap, that's the word I want, dish soap, to create cells, and no success. However, I was able to rescue the pieces that were starting out as being a disaster, and although I didn't get cells, I did get some nice end products. So this is one of them in blue. And these are just small 6x6 canvases because right now as I'm experimenting I didn't really want to put out the money for a really nice canvas. And these ones are like, you get a couple in a package for $5 or something like that. And you can even go to your dollar store and get some canvases as well. The ones from the dollar store, though, I highly recommend that you only use those for experimental purposes. So that was one. This was another one which looked like, as one of the viewers of that particular video said, looked like exorcist vomit. And they were right. I did try to do this as a spin, and it's just a green god-awful mess. But I was able to rescue it, and it turned out not too bad. Again, really no cells. I mean, I'm searching for cells. I did find Floetrol. I got it, and it does make cells, and it's great. But I was just seeing what else I could use, and I'm not finished yet experimenting. And this was the last one. I just put the video up for this, and this one needs another coat of varnish on it yet. But this one was also a disaster, but I was able to change it, transform it. It may not be to everyone's taste. I'm not even sure which way I like it. That's not bad that way. Might be that way. Yeah, I like it that way, I think. But anyways, so I continue experimenting. But I wasn't just doing acrylic pouring this week. I saw a video by Kat Hand, and I have reviewed her channel before. She does a lot of mixed media things. And she has these little collage books, she calls. So I decided to make my own based on her idea. And so here's the little book, and it's only, what, about 4 inches by 4 inches. And inside, and she shows you how to make this little clasp. I did a variation on it, but it works very well. The binding is really easy because you use those hair bands. And I think I got a bag of these at the dollar store. And they fit in like a Miyadori type of structure. And inside you create your signatures. And I have 4 signatures. And if you don't know what a signature is just a group of papers folded. I stitched the papers together, hand stitched each signature. I think there are 3 sheets, 4 sheets. How many signatures? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sheets in each signature, folded in half, and I stitched them down the middle. You can't see the stitching because I've got the band that's holding it into the book. I did 4 of these, and I jelly printed them. Now I jelly printed them after I'd already created the signatures, which was okay, but it was a little awkward. I think if I was to do this in the future, and I'm going to use jelly printing, I would just do the entire sheets before I cut them down to create the signatures. I think that would just be easier. But they're quite colorful. And then what she does is she goes through magazines or picture files and finds pictures she likes, puts them in, puts some journaling in along with them, and she has a little mini collage journal. So I haven't done any more to the pages yet, and, well, I may not. I don't know. I haven't decided what's going to go in it yet. I just like making little albums, and this was kind of cute. It was easy to do, and you can do it pretty much with scraps of pattern paper you have laying around. This I think came from some Tim Holtz papers. I just cut them out and layered them onto the front of it for the cover. So I did that this week. I also did an art journal tag. Now I went to, you saw in my video, I went to a place called Port Perry, and there's a used bookstore up there that I like to go in and find some interesting books that I can bring home and tear apart for pages in my art journal. Well, one of those books I found was a book on Picasso, and it had a whole bunch of colored plates of his works, and I find his work fascinating, especially now that I've gotten so much more into abstract art, and the more that I look at it, the more I study it, the more I get an appreciation for people like Picasso, who I'm not sure if you call him a completely abstract expressionist, or if he's like leans towards, what do they call it, Cubism or Impressionism. I don't know, one of the other ones. Picasso is Picasso, and I like Picasso. So I thought, I found this book, I cut it up, and I had this stencil by Mike Deacon I hadn't used yet. And so I purposely looked for one of Picasso's nudes, and I used that as my focal point, and used this stencils here. And I used Tim Holtz Distress Oxide inks to create a sort of a abstract background through a stencil. And I kind of like it. But this is going to be my little art tag book. It's just made up of large tags. I've gessoed, those are the back of them. I've gessoed the tags, and I even have a cover here. I'll show you. Oops. It's just on a C-ring, binder ring. I haven't done anything to the cover yet, and that was my first page in the art journal tag book. So it's just another way of, different form to put your art journaling into. And speaking of art journaling, I completed the Mission Inspiration that happens every month through Mike Deacon's website page, Facebook page, and you've heard me talk about it before. And this was the theme. I never know how these are going to turn out, but this is what it did turn out to be. Color combination is a little different, but again, I based it on the images that I found in my stash of collage images, and I really like these ones, and it just evolved from there. So anyways, if you haven't done the Mission Inspiration, do check it out on Facebook. Just look for the Mission Inspiration group, and you'll get all kinds of inspiration from it, because people share what they create each month. And I don't know, I think there's well over 2,000 people, there might even be more, on that site. And it's a very supportive group. Nobody's there going to criticize you. If you're a little shy about showing your work, don't worry about it. Everybody's very supportive. So I recommend it. Okay, so that's what I've been up to in the last week. And I have been looking for new YouTube channels to watch and review for you. And thank you to those who have given me some names of certain YouTubes they like, and please send those along to me either as email. My email is always at the end of my videos, or you can just put them in a comment in the comment box below this vlog, and I'd be more than happy to check them out and see what they're all about and possibly review them. So this week's is one that it wasn't one that someone sent to me, but I discovered it through some other YouTube videos that or channels that I watch. Especially ones about paint pouring, and I found this one, this Lily's Mix it's called. Lily's a little, well, she's a little different, and I don't mean that in a negative way, okay? She's kind of fun to watch, and she, like me, loves to experiment with paint, and she is a trained artist, and well, check out, here's my review of that YouTube channel. So the YouTube channel for this week is one called Lily's Mix. Lily is a artist. She is a formally trained artist, but she loves to experiment with acrylic pouring and other forms of art as well. Although most of the videos I have seen on her channel so far have to do with acrylic pouring. The thing I like about what Lily does is, though, she likes to think outside of the box, and she tries all kinds of different combinations and different techniques and styles. There's one particular video where she does a huge canvas with the help of a couple of friends that I found really fascinating. She's a little bit wacko, okay, and I mean that in the nicest of terms. but never a dull moment with her and her pouring. So if you're into acrylic pouring and you want to see the fun side of it and the experimental side of it, I strongly suggest you check out Lily's Mix. So do check out that YouTube channel. I think you'll find it inspiring, especially if you're up for doing a little acrylic pouring or playing with paint. Okay, so what's pissing me off this week? Okay, this has been an interesting week in Toronto because it's Pride Week. Actually, the whole month is Pride Month, but of course it culminates in the big Pride Parade on this past Sunday. And it is the largest Pride Parade in the world. It's even bigger than New York's. If you don't believe me, look it up. That's how I found out. I knew it was huge. I mean, they get over 1 million people lining the parade route every year for it. We didn't go. We haven't gone in a couple of years, and here's why. All Toronto Pride is anymore is just a money-grabbing freak show for the straight people. Sorry, but that's how I feel. It has become far too political. Yes, Pride Parade started out as a political movement. They were a protest. It was people in the LGBTQ community honoring what happened in New York at the Stonewall riots back in the late 60s, which really got the whole ball rolling for equal rights in the gay community. However, as time went on, and as we, especially here in Canada, as we were granted more and more rights, which really culminated into the whole same-sex marriage and whatnot, the parade has still kept some political connections, but has just become fun. And it's become a spectacle. And I'm sorry, but it's no longer gay. It is a form of entertainment for the homonormative, or whatever you want to call them. Let's see, what do I want to call them? Breeders. Okay, sorry if that offends people, but that's what I call them. They're breeders. They're out there and taking their kids and the strollers and the whole bit, and they're there, and they're loud, and they're boisterous, and if you're gay, you can't get in anywhere to see anything or go to any of the bars to celebrate because it's all filled with straight people. Now, people are going to say, well, they're there to show their support for the gay community. No, they're not. No, they're not. I'm sorry. They are not. Some of them, yes. We call them allies. Okay. But, you know, really, if the weather's nice, it's a fun day out to watch a big parade that's colorful, loud, involves water guns, music, half-naked people dancing around, sometimes full naked people that shouldn't be naked, dancing around. Yeah, it's really become a little bit of a freak show for them. Okay? So that's why, one reason why we don't go. Of course, the other reason we didn't go this year is because we are protesting the Black Lives Matter people who hijacked it, as you know, and I mentioned this in another vlog, hijacked the parade last year. Won't let uniformed policemen march in the parade, which is completely wrong. In fact, as I was saying, there's a little interruption there. I ran out of space on the iPad that I'm recording this on, so I had to make a correction. So as I was saying about Black Lives Matter and the uniformed police, the uniformed policemen were invited to New York City for their Pride Day celebrations and parade, which happened to fall on the same day as Toronto's, and they went down to march in that. They also had their own little gathering along with other service personnel in a unity event, which didn't look on the news like it was that well attended, but that was sort of their protest about to the decision that the Pride Committee made based on Black Lives Matter, who also sat on the Pride Committee supposedly. That was the officers' protest for not being allowed to march in it, which again is completely wrong. In New York, however, Black Lives Matter tried to do the same thing to the Pride Parade there that they did last year to Toronto, and were not very successful. I think they took them away in handcuffs, as they should be. As they should be. They should not be allowed to railroad a fun event for their own political needs. I have nothing against them protesting what they think is wrong in society. Do it on your own time, not on mine or on my group's time. So, as far as I'm concerned, and some of you are going to get really upset about this, but I'm going to say it. Black Lives Matter as a group needs to be reorganized or eliminated because they are not fighting for a just cause. They think it is. All they're doing is causing problems. They're not solving problems. Enough said about that. So anyways, the pride parades are not what they used to be, so we don't go. But we are going to the Pride Parade in Sydney, Australia. We happen to be there when their Pride is going on. And that'll be interesting to see. They do theirs at night. Probably not as big, well, I know it's not as big as Toronto's, but nevertheless, I think it'll be a lot of fun and it'll be something different while we're there. So anyways, that's all I want to say about the Toronto Pride Parade. I hope in the future that maybe it can recapture some of the celebratory fun that was there and not just be a freak show anymore. I have a feeling it's always going to be a freak show. But anyways, enough said about that. So what's next on the agenda here? Okay, I mentioned last week about the Caterpillar Glow. Well, I've ordered one. Haven't got it yet, but I found a link from Ken's Creations YouTube site. It's where he got his. So I went to it. The price was reasonable, even though it was in American dollars. It says free shipping. So I ordered one, and I also ordered the glass mat to go on it. And it came up as free shipping. I still don't know whether I'm going to get charged duty or whatever when it comes across the border. I'm waiting for the axe to fall on this because it just seemed too easy to get it. Okay, because it's a brand new product. And I think it's made in the UK, actually. I don't think it's an American product. I know it's definitely not Canadian. So I'm waiting for that. I hope it comes through. At this point, it's costing me about $200 Canadian for the glass mat and for the glow. I may have to pay a few bucks more for duty or whatever, but I'm in for this. I want it. I'm going to have it. And when I get it, I'll review it and show it to you as well. I also ordered a Cricut bag. You know Cricut, the electronic cutting machine. I have one of those. I've had several of them over the years. I love them. They have a whole line of totes that are very good quality from what I've heard. But they're expensive. They have one tote that you could use as a briefcase, as a laptop bag, whatever. I have an old bag now that I kind of use as a sort of as a briefcase when I go to the art gallery or whatever to carry some stuff. But it's pretty tattered and beat up, and I was thinking about getting a new one. Well, these bags from Cricut are usually $99, but they had them on sale for $29.99 American at the Cricut website. But if you went through Ken's Creations link and used his code KK15, you get 15% off and free shipping. Now, I have used his code before through Cricut, and yep, I really got free shipping. The reason that surprises me is because there's another site, Crafts by Two, that they have a similar thing going on. You use their code, but if you're Canadian, you have to have a minimum order of $50 to get the free shipping. Whereas through Ken's Creations, it doesn't seem to need that. So I had good luck when I ordered something before through his site. I'm hoping I have the same luck. And they are fast in delivering it. The same day it said it had been shipped out. Now that was Thursday of last week. I would not be surprised if it doesn't arrive today, Monday, or tomorrow, Tuesday. At least that's the experience I had with the last order. So we'll see. Anyways, I was doing a lot of shopping. Alright, so what else going on? Well, yesterday was the Art Gallery's Strawberry Social event, which they were having to celebrate 50 years of the Art Gallery being open. It was a really good time, in spite of the weather. as you know, up here, it's been raining a lot. And of course, it poured they were hoping to have this event outside, so an hour or so before when they were trying to set up outside, it just came down. And it looked like it was going to threaten rain all afternoon and thunderstorms, so they moved it inside. It was still good. It was a very nice affair, the whole thing. Funny part was, though, it was supposed to run from 2 to 4 in the afternoon, and it did, but in the morning, when I got up, I was checking my email, I had an email link to the Facebook invitation for this event that said the time had been changed to 11 to 1 instead of 2 to 4. So I rip upstairs and say to Walter, who's still in bed getting his beauty sleep, you better get up. They've changed the time. It's going to start at 11 o'clock. And this is now about 9:30 in the morning. So off we rip off there at 11 o'clock. Nobody there except the regular staff. And so I mentioned to them, we saw the notification, and they're going, what? And I said, yeah, it'd been changed. Apparently that was a mistake. I'm not sure what that was about. I think that was supposed to go out to the people who were helping to set up, but somehow it came across on the invitation to the general populace. So they quickly corrected that. We went off, had brunch in a place in downtown Oshawa. I have never waited to be served so long in my life. We were there for over an hour before we got our food. It was busy. They were understaffed. It's not that big a place. It was okay. We weren't in any rush anyway, so what the heck, just drank a lot of coffee waiting for our Eggs Benny to appear. But then we went in the afternoon back at 2 o'clock for it, and it was a very nice affair, the whole thing. So anyways, what's coming up? Well, next weekend coming up is July the 1st weekend for us in Canada. That's Canada Day. This is our 150th anniversary, so every place is pulling out all the stops for this. Traditionally, we go to a town about 45 minutes away from us where they have a big waterfront sort of festival. They have a lot of local artisans selling their wares there and things like that, and it's fun. So that's where we're going to go for Canada Day, and it's going to be busy. There's no two ways about it. It's just going to be packed everywhere. So that's something. That'll be fun, and I look forward to it. I'm hoping it doesn't rain, but the long distance forecast is suggesting that it could. So we'll see. Yeah, oh well. If it rains, it rains. What are you going to do about it? So anyways, that's about it. We're still working on the Australian trip. And when I say we, I mean Walter is still working on the Australia trip. He's getting things all in place. I think it's going to be a really great trip, and I think we're really going to see parts of Australia that maybe a lot of people don't see. Of course, that doesn't include the outback. I'm not going to the outback. Don't need to see desert. Don't need to see rock. Okay? You can see rock in our own country, and I've seen desert in other countries, and they're all pretty much the same. Barren, hot, barren. So, not interested in that. I'm an urban person. I want to shop. I want to go to nice bars. I want to eat in nice restaurants and that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing. I want to go to wineries, all that kind of thing. So that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so that's the week that was, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye-bye for now. Hi, it's me again. This is a little PS. I forgot I was going to insert in here some clips from the Strawberry Social at RMG. So here they are to finish off the video. Okay, so today is a very special event here at RMG. It's the 50th anniversary, the official 50th anniversary, and we're having a Strawberry Social. And this was supposed to be outside, but the weather is not cooperating because, as you know, here in Ontario we've been having a lot of rain, so they've all set it up inside. This is just the beginning of it, and we'll see how things get along as time progresses.
Good afternoon, folks. We are giving Sam here at the Strawberry Social at the Rockville Block of New Jersey. We're going to get started on the way. Right now, we're going to be on the great stage. So we're having fun.
as well as one of our volunteers, as well as a lot of staff in-house participated in creating this. And it has been, it's being made for, I don't know how long now, a long time. It's been a long time coming. So we greatly appreciate your attendance here. It's a 10-minute film with the document, but the gallery, and I hope you all enjoy it. Thank you.
Gallery started at Simcoe Street over one of the little stores.
The Oshawa Art Gallery came out of the brainstorm of probably over 20 different artists in the area.
But at that time, they were moving toward the possibility of having a piece of property and kind of dream of having a building on that piece of property.
They used to line up around the block to get into that before it opened. It gives you the feeling of comradeship that we all had doing all these things together.
And we see the growth of the collection. So we see it going from just a handful of works to thousands of works, and how that changes how we look at art and how we look at who we are as an institution.
The art gallery itself has always been on the cutting edge because it started on the cutting edge. We are so much more than just some paintings on a wall.
There's a place for everyone in a public art gallery. It's how can we find ways to attract people and present art and work together with people so that they can find their pathway and connect with art in a meaningful way for them.
Now this sounds really sad, and of course the brother was very sad. And so he took his brother, and he buried him, and with great shame he returned home. His heart was really heavy. And as he came home, his mother said, well, where's your brother? And he said, oh, I don't know. We went separate areas. Has he not come back yet? No, he hasn't returned. So they waited and they waited. They went to sleep, they woke up, the brother still hadn't returned. And so the mother said, please, go looking for him. Go looking. So that's just what he did. He headed out. And of course, he knew exactly where to go because he buried his brother. He went to his brother's grave and he cried and he cried and he cried with great remorse. His heart was so heavy. He was so sad. He was so remorseful about what he had done.
Elvis is in the building. Now, if you don't know what I just said, Elvis is actually in this building. Down in the vault, there is the most amazing wax drawing, or wax painting, of Elvis Presley when he was a child. And we own it. You own it. Along with the largest collection of painters 11 in the world. Some Munnings pieces, some Emily Carr pieces, some Group of 7 pieces. And I'm so excited to be here today because I'm here with some of my colleagues. Deputy Mayor Bob Chapman is here today. He's also the council rep from council on the board. We've got Colin Carey and Jennifer French, our MPP from Oshawa.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. I don't know if you guys know what spoken word poetry is, but it's not about spoken word today, it's about the gallery, so I'm just going to talk about the gallery and you're going to find out. The inspiration for the gallery, originally, well, reading up on it, came from William Cladwell when he was down in the public library and went to go and appreciate a piece of work because there was an exhibition going on there. He backed up and he tripped over a chair. So you could say that it started with a beat. And when I saw that, it made me think of how the human body, a baby, starts with a heartbeat. And then I found out about Arthur Erickson and how he loved interesting light concepts, and I thought about when a baby is born, it's all bright lights. And then I just kept researching in, and I saw so many other things that had parallels. So I came up with this. traceless in the Cimmerian cavity. The lone sound and padded foundation conducting abstract exhibition into embryo. A blueprint for vibrant pupils. One and one meet, like a chair struck beneath the ribcage. Lack of color refracts subtle rage into ironclad will. Trip becomes permanent landing. Muffled swears an epiphany. A symphony pulsating like a gardener's hand as evening falls. Seed grows into grassroots, dripping upwards like paint drying in reverse the first movement. Happened weeks ago. But only now are they feeling the rumble of feet, kicking up rubble, a beat, no longer subtly stowed in the chest. In just 3 months, it has metastasized into a committee of donors with the gut feeling it cannot put to rest. Only half of any vision is visual. The rest is nestled behind eyelids, fastening proposition with fruition the way a wire supports a portrait not hired to be noticed. Will remain the vertebrae that stack vision into focus and catalyze a $250,000 investment from trial period.